Record.
Welcome back to the NAO Show. We're here for week 6. I know you all missed me, but my boys, Marky Mark, Mike Deasy, they held down the fort real good. I was laughing my butt off in the airport. I know you see 4 faces and you're going, who the heck is that handsome guy down there in the corner? That is Evan, the true owner of the Underdogs, my pick every week. Welcome to the show, Evan. How you doing?
I just glad to be a part. I appreciate you guys for putting us on each week. It's a lot of fun to get a few laughs out and to hope that you don't pick us so we can actually win each week. Because our one win was when you didn't pick us. So please stop picking us.
I hope you like that win because I'm going to pick you every week regardless. Even if you play me, I'll pick you just so I can win. Marky Mark, Mike Deasy, how you guys doing? Thanks for holding down the show last week.
Doing great. We did okay.
I think you guys did fantastic. Steely might be a little butthurt still, but we'll go forward. All right, Marky Mark, hit us with those scores, buddy.
All right. Well, of course, some of them are not finished yet, but we'll go over what we got at this point. Starting off is one that I'm not liking a whole lot. We have Steele at 173 and the Bob O'Reilly's at 113. 60 damn points, man. 60 damn points. So, I'm giving Steele crap for losing by 35. He's trying to double that up, man. He's still going tonight. He's got Tennessee defense going tonight. He gets another 10 points. He'll double up that 35 and have the last laugh, So, not looking too good for me this week at all. Already lost and going to be losing by more. Next, we've got Frank's Beauties. I'll give you the projections on this one. This was our marquee matchup from last week. So Frank's Beauties at 141 projected, and defenses win championships at 123 projected. So Mike, tell us, are you biting your nails? What do you think for tonight?
I just choose to believe the sleeper projection win percentage on this one, and hoping that I do have a 94% chance. I was a little upset that Zach Moss is inactive, which means he can't vulture some touchdowns. I was hoping for that at least.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be closer than what these projections say.
Yeah, Mike, you think Delvin Singletary is going to be the deciding factor in your loss if you lose? If you lose.
Well, that's why I was hoping that Zach Moss was going to play, because otherwise Josh Allen or Singletary are going to get every red zone touchdown, and it's going to be a lot of them. But
Not very much in your favor. Titans are missing their best defensive lineman, and we have not been good against the run this year. Just not trying to put bad juju out there, but not looking too hot.
We invite you to the show, and that's what you start off.
Golly, here we go.
Yeah, but that might be good.
Cutting edge analysis there.
Might be good for you, Evan, if Tennessee has to pass more since you got AJ tonight, but we'll let you talk about that in a second. Mike, I don't know if you saw, he had Cooks on his bench. It's a good thing he didn't flex him in over Brandon Ayuk, or you might have been in trouble. But Cooks on his bench went off. But who was going to start Cooks the way it's been going there? You know what I mean? So going on to the next score, we got Skippy Dogs projected at 130. He's already beat the real Slim Brady, who came in at 103. So Skippy gets back in the win column, sitting down there at 1-3. So that'll put him at 2-3 and should move him up a little bit down at the bottom half of the standings there. Next, we've got Goofy Jace at 118.28. And the Underdogs projected for 113.13. Evan, what can you tell us about this one?
Well, Tre'Davious White's out. Tre'Davious White. I don't want to say that right. He's out, and the Titans are missing all of their good defenders. Adoree Jackson's out. Christian Fulton, the rookie's out. So I am hoping for an over-under of 80 points in this game. I want to shoot out. Corey Davis and Adam Humphries are out for the Titans. So just throw every ball to A.J. Brown, double, triple covered. It don't matter. If he's limping down the field, still target him. But no, seriously, he did have 5, as Steele pointed out in the chat. He had 5 games last year over 18 points. I just need 18 points. And it could have been a whole lot worse because when Keenan Allen scored a touchdown on their first drive last night, I thought, it's over. No chance. So to have a chance going into tonight, and it's the team I root for, I'm excited to watch that game and see how it turns out, and to be completely obnoxious if we win tomorrow. I think that's my calling card right there.
Yeah. So I was calling Goofy Jace the Steamroller. They let the steam out a little bit there. He's almost human, it looks like, with this 118 score that he's put up. And they, LA Chargers kept Kamara, reasonable. He's still got a lot of yards, but he didn't get in the end zone. So yeah, a lot working in your favor.
Kamara only has 15 points. If he's under 20, this is the best chance for my guys, the underdogs, to come out with a win.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I'm just wondering too.
Points, AJ Brown.
If we win, it's because you weren't on the show last week to pick us again, right?
Oh, wow.
That's right.
Wow. All right.
That's right.
Last time I had you on the show. Got it.
What'll be interesting to me, I don't know what you guys think, but just wonder if Tennessee's going to be rusty or not after everything that's gone on with them. I don't know how much or how hard they've been practicing, and so I don't know what to expect tonight. If they'll be rusty or if they'll be rested and come out and look good. It's hard to say,
We've been practicing at Parks, man. Didn't you see the reports?
Yeah.
I mean, we're good.
Yeah.
Don't ask the NFL. We're good.
Well, our last score, we had the two lowest point totals in the league.
An absolute doozy.
And fortunately, Airgate 2020 sucked just a little bit less than Jay Hill. We got a score of 96-77. Sean, tell us about that.
All right.
Matchup there.
I just want to say that I'm glad it didn't come down to Michael Thomas playing or not playing, because that would have made me real sad panda. But I am kind of happy that I got a win with less than 100 points. Who can say that?
Yeah, usually that's you're usually up for the Miyagi if you're under 100 points, right?
Yeah, I'm Miyagi runner-up with a win. How's that?
Well, speaking of the Miyagi, we have to give silly spicy biscuits. Jay Hill gets the Miyagi this week, coming in at a paltry 77 points.
Poultry.
And Josh couldn't be here to accept the award, so he just faxed me over a little acceptance speech here. I just got it, so I'm going to read it live to you here. I'll try to not sound too
Live on the
much like
show.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Dude, Phillip Rivers sucks, man. I mean, the guy is in the league for 37 years, and he gets a safety on intentional grounding in the end zone. Come on, man. Dude can't get the ball downfield, and he has zero mobility. He can't even get out of his own way there. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Frank Reich. Blah, blah, blah. Frickin' Browns. Are you kidding me? Yeah. It doesn't look like he really said anything about the Miyagi. I think he's just still a little bit upset about that loss to the Browns. So.
Shock of the overall amazingness that it took for him to win it.
Yeah. I don't see anything about the Miyagi on here. So.
Live update of a game. I got distracted.
What's that?
What happened?
I saw there was an interception.
AJ Brown just caught a touchdown.
Oh, really?
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect, because
Wow.
Josh Allen has -2 points. That's great for me.
Oh, you guys are watching the game. Yeah, I need Jonnu Smith to get a no, that's fine, man. I purposely didn't put it on because I know I'd be paying more attention to that. I need 11 from Jonnu Smith in another league, so let's get the next one to Jonnu.
Well, speaking of AJ Brown there, Evan, you got anything to say? This is your part. This is your time. This is your moment. Call out everybody in the league. Call out nobody in the league. We will judge you. We will hold it against you. So go ahead.
So been thinking a lot about this, all right? And I gotta adjust the voice real quick. It is a pleasure to be on the NAO podcast for the week and to talk about this league that has been an uphill battle for us, okay? So talking about the league real quick, I have a few thank yous. I didn't write them down, so I'm going to go by memory, okay? big shout out, big thank you to my owner, the owner of our team, B. Lemming, for not telling me about draft picks being big thank you. Couldn't have done my fantabulous trades without him. Okay, so that's first. My next thank you in this league is all the love and support I've received from Jay Hill. Big fan. Just proud that you can support me the way you do. And last but not least, and this is really, truly a thank you. Thank you for trading me a running back one, Silly Dilly.
Talking about Joe Mixon there, I guess, right?
No, that one's not been 1 week. That's looked really good for us.
Yeah, the week that I traded him to you. Or I guess it wasn't the week, but I traded him to you, and that's just one big week of the year.
Yeah, he's still getting warmed up. I wouldn't worry too much.
What's bad is I just shouted out like 2 of the guys that probably will not watch this at all.
Oh, everybody watches this.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't even say that.
Yeah, we got guys outside the league watching this, don't we?
Matthew
My wife
Berry,
watches.
he
There you
Instagrams me all the time.
Hey, still, if you're watching, I need you to figure something out. We cannot search the YouTube. Like, you can only view the video through the link. Why can we not search it on YouTube? You gotta fix the tags or something, man. I don't know what's going on there.
Interesting. Well, Mike, why don't you catch us up on the standings, even though they're not complete? What do we see from what we do have?
Well, no movement at the top, but it looks like we might have a 4-1 team by the end of this one. But the way that game's going, anyway.
Let's see.
We're going to have some movement in the top 4, though. That's for sure. Unfortunately, like we went over, you're probably going to lose your game by about 70 points.
Yeah.
Which drops you out of the playoffs. But 2, 3, and 4 are all up for grabs, it seems like. That's going to come down to points for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not a lot of movement there at the bottom either. Actually, looks like, Sean, you might just stay right where you are. I think you're just going to stick at 6. But not a lot of movement there at the bottom. Silly Spicy Biscuits lost again. But
Again.
Yeah. The bottom, everyone's staying where they are. But the top will have a lot of movement up there, though. It's going to be a tight one, I think, this entire year.
Yeah.
I think it might come down to points scored. I think a lot of teams are going to – I think every team in the league right now is fighting the injury bug.
We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams at 3 and 2. All coming down to points for.
Yep.
I think that's going to be continuous throughout the year.
Tell you what, though, seriously, looking at JL's team, if he can get healthy, and I know some moves. I've played in other leagues with them as well, Mark.
Yeah.
He's not a guy I'm going to sleep on, and he's going to be a guy that – sorry, but if I'm in a trade negotiation with him, I'm looking very, very closely at that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of trade negotiations, just as a general question for the whole board here, when you are looking at trades, how often do you look at the people going to the said team and how strong said team becomes? How often does that come into your play? How often does that really hinder your yes or no on the trade? Mark, you go first.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to see who you're giving to who and how much, if it's going to make them stronger. I guess it depends on your situation. I've made some trades, traded away some really good guys when I was down at the bottom of the league because I didn't have much more to lose. So, but if I'm in a tight race with a guy, I definitely want to see what I'm giving him. Make sure that I'm not giving away the farm and beating myself down the line. You know what I mean?
Mike, what do you think? Mike Deasy.
I think what you said about you don't want to beat yourself down the line is comes into it. I mean, if you're trading some top guys and for some pennies or whatever, and you got to go against that team eventually. You don't want to stack another team and then hope you can beat them later on. Too much anyway.
What do you think there, Evan?
I can honestly say probably the only time I've really paid attention to it is if I'm trading away a guy that's a star or RB1, wide receiver 1. I want to see when I play them that season, especially in redraft leagues. And I also want to see – I look a lot at – and this may be giving something away, but I'm sure a lot of people do it too. I look a lot at those playoff week matchups. So I'm not as much worried, especially midseason trades, as the next matchup, as much as I am week 14, week 15, or 15, 16. Where am I going to be at? Because that's when it's all going to matter. Hopefully I have a good enough team at that point to make it there. Maybe not this year unless we get healthy and things kind of roll right. But that's something I look at, especially if I'm trading a guy away. I don't want to face him in week 15 if it can really hurt me.
Good point. That's a good point on that playoff stuff. Sorry, Sean. I'll get done quick here, but I took my first peek at the playoffs already. So, looking at different waiver wires and different, like picking up defenses and stuff. I'm already taking a peek. So that's good strategy there.
I think this being my first dynasty, I've taken into consideration that aspect a little bit more, because if I give away a guy, say wide receiver 1, who will remain nameless, and it goes to a team.
Who could that be?
Who could that be? And it goes to a team that just comes out as a powerhouse. That's not going to be a powerhouse for this year. It's going to be a powerhouse for the next few years. And not only does that make my team bad, but that makes everybody else in the league bad, and it takes away from the league. You know what I mean? I just thought I would get the board's thoughts on that.
Well, since we're talking about trades, you guys ought to talk about the trade we couldn't talk about last week because we were waiting for you and Evan to get back. Let's so refresh my memory. I think I know Evan got Myles Gaskin, and Sean got Kalen Ballage, and what else?
Very up and coming.
What else? Who else did you get there? Finish it up there, Sean.
I got a second-round pick, my own second-round pick, so it's kind of my own self slapping me in the face. And then I got a running back that got recently traded to the Chargers in Mr. Keelan Ballage. Is that how you pronounce it?
Kalen Ballage. Yeah, I mentioned him. Was that him in a second round pick for Myles Gaskin?
Also,
that was the trade.
Braxton Berrios.
I knew there was another piece there.
He had come off 2 back-to-back 14-point weeks.
Yeah. Sell high.
On a team
a little sell high going on there.
Well,
let's hear it from Evan's point of view. So tell us what you thought about the trade.
Be nice.
So I'll say this. This trade talk happened, was it 24 or 48 hours? We talked about it for a while.
Wow.
Probably a good 2 days.
So I will say this. At the time I sent the trade, we're in a position with the team that we have to get running backs. At one point, my only 2 running backs I could play were Gibson, who I do have faith in, and Mixon, but nothing else. So the trade for Robinson, and then I wanted one more, especially for bye weeks coming up. And Ballage isn't a guy that I feel like you're going to want to start as a RB1 or even an RB2, but I felt like in a flex position, he was better than anything else I had. At the time of the trade, I didn't want to give up the second. He got the second out of me, and I think that's probably the to be determined on the trade, just to be nice. I definitely sold high on Berrios, although he's still a young guy, and Darnold, before getting hurt, I think if Darnold doesn't get hurt, he continues to be a factor because Darnold had built some rapport with him. And the only other guys you had playing receiver there are unproven or older guys, not necessarily unproven, and Crowder, and I think Perriman's there maybe, Rashad Perriman.
Yeah, trying to work through injury.
They had a practice squad guy come up that was undrafted last year, and Jeff Thomas, who had 11 targets this week. So I think that Berrios could have a role moving forward. When you package that really with a second-round pick, I thought it was a fair value at the time. Ballage, to be completely honest, I was trying to move him because I knew that Le'Veon Bell was about to come off the IR. If they trade him, Ballage's value might come back up because he was getting snaps and he was slowly progressing because he had gotten traded to them late, one of Adam Gase's guys. For me, I thought it was a trade high on both ends. I thought I was trying to trade Berrios and Ballage high. I thought he was trying to trade Gaskins high. He got a second-round pick out of it, which if you look at some of the guys that got taken in the second round last year, if he can make that pick count, I think we look at this trade completely different. obviously right now I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, but we'll see.
All right, Sean.
With the trade, I think Gaskin's going to be good this year. I think next year he's going to be a guy that we lose to time. I think he's not going to be a factor at all next year unless for some reason we have the same situation with COVID, with injuries, what have you. I don't think he's going to be a big factor. I wanted to sell him high, like Evan had said. When he was hot, like if I waited and he started going downside, he was going to be worth nothing to me. With Ballridge being traded to the Chargers, I think he has more upside now than he did when I actually traded for him. I think it's fair to say that I got the trade. I did the trade for the pick. Just like Evan said, I can get a pretty good guy at second. It's a lot of pressure on the second round pick, it being my top pick, it being being my only pick in 2021. But obviously I wish I had the depth right now at Gaskin, but with the pick later, it being dynasty, I think I could make it happen.
My biggest fear with the trade, I will say this, is Gaskin's 7th round pick last year. They don't have a lot of value in him. And I do think the Dolphins, with Tua probably starting next year, will draft a running back. So I did view it as more of a 1-year rental, and I didn't want to overpay. And we had a lot of back and forth on that. So, I mean, right now I can see where people think, the trade is more in my favor, but I definitely think it'll balance out over time, especially in a dynasty league.
Yeah.
Not go to my favor, if I can even say that. Second round pick. I mean, people like Claypool were getting picked in the second round, and he just had 4 touchdowns last week. So,
hey, Gibson went in the second round, fellas. The GOAT, Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, that was a costly one, though.
And I was about to say there was more given up for that pick.
You better pan out. Mike, you got any thoughts on that trade?
Well, you beat me on the trade because we must have been talking to him at the same time. I think what happened from my end was Sean put his entire team on the trade block that day. Because you sent the trade to me, Ruggs for Parker. And then I'm thinking about it. I liked it. I'm thinking about it. And then Sean puts his whole team up. I'm like, well, damn, I'm accepting this trade before Ruggs becomes involved in his entire team. And then I immediately start talking to Sean. So, yeah, we were going at it probably at the same time. You beat me out on it. I got stuck at the 2. I wasn't willing to go as high as a 2 on that one. But I see why you did it, though. It makes sense when you guys are explaining it. But, yeah, I wasn't willing to go at 2. I think I was a 3 in some guys. And Sean backhanded me across the room and took the 2.
Yeah, being desperate for running back, it got you somebody in there. The maddening thing about Miami is they keep putting Howard in there to get touchdowns, mm-hmm. And so that kind of caps Gaskin's upside. He's got to score on long plays, or he's going to be out in the goal line situations. But I mean, we'll see that could change. But right now, it's kind of caps his ceiling a little bit. But definitely some volume there, so it was worth trading for. Balaj, I just don't think is a good football player. I couldn't believe I saw someone actually did a trade that involved Kalen Balaj. So, and I think he's just a depth guy with Eckler out in San Diego. Or I keep saying San Diego, man. I got to get over that. But
Mark, I gave up 2 players for Benny Snell. All right, so there's players that go in trades all the time that become irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, he was the hot one that a lot of people were moving for Snell at that time, and then then Connor's like, yeah, just kidding, I'm okay. I'm not really injured. I don't know what that was all about. Of course, I was worried as a Connor owner in 2 dynasty leagues, but glad he's back in there. Snell's getting garbage time, so if Connor goes down, Snell's going to be good. So.
All right, let's go ahead and go to next week's matchups. Mike Deasy, write it down.
Next week's matchups?
Yes, sir.
I think I'm interested in my own next week.
You don't say.
Don't say.
But
Bold
actually,
strategy.
It's been weird. We talked about it earlier. I haven't really looked ahead too much because there's still technically week 5 football going on. But yeah, looking ahead to week 6, I kind of am interested to see what me and Goofy do. It's going to be a battle of depth of who can pick the right guy to replace our starter with Russell Wilson out, Kamara, Bruggs, Keenan Allen. That's just going to be who has the better depth and who picks it right. And again, I'm going to hope that the sleeper win percentage is correct, and I have a 95% chance of winning next week.
Well, is that with that's probably showing the guys on bye, right?
Everybody's out.
You say he's got Kamara on bye and
yeah, Kamara, Russell Wilson,
and Russell Wilson. Yeah, that's a big hit. But he's got Aaron Jones coming back in there.
Mm-hmm. Keenan Allen's out.
Keenan Allen, is he? What's the latest on his? Is it bye for them or?
Yeah, they're on a bye next week.
Oh, they're on a bye. That's probably good for Keenan to rest that back then. So, yeah.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see who he actually starts at quarterback. Because
he's pretty loaded. I think he's got Rodgers, man.
Yeah, but Rodgers is going against my team, Tampa Bay. I'm not trying to be a homebody, but our defense is pretty darn good. And he has Ben Roethlisberger going against Cleveland's defense, which looked pretty good against Indy, but Indy doesn't know how to get out of their own way. So I don't know. I think that's
just trying to piss off Josh.
Yeah, that wasn't their defense at all.
Oh man, no, that Roethlisberger, that's a trap to me, man.
Yeah, it's always, even when Cleveland was going 0-16, that was a trap game.
Yeah, man, Rodgers has been playing good. His PFF grade is good. His numbers are looking like old Aaron, and so I'd ride that. I'd ride that while it's still hot, and get him in there.
There's the old start Matt Ryan with the new head coach who's just going to let him swing it around out there, though.
Yeah. Matt hasn't looked too good, and without Julio in there, seems like it takes away from Ryan's value when Julio's not in there right now.
I really think if Julio was playing, Matt Ryan would be the best play, even with Aaron Rodgers right there, because Julio and Ridley. I mean, he gets the points for Ryan, and then he gets the points for Ridley. It'd be a double tap, stack those babies to win. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a pretty good move if Julio was there.
Well, I'm betting he puts Rodgers in. I haven't talked to him, but that's what I'm betting on.
I would put my money down on Rodgers.
I wouldn't put Ryan in until he shows something else. He hasn't been good, man.
I think really Rodgers is the safe one anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to live or die by my flex again, like I do every week.
Mike, if you win, who's going to be the guy that wins the game for you?
I don't know. I don't know. Every week it seems like I've got one guy that blows up. I think – I don't know, actually. I'm hoping for a more even keel team this week. But
I got a question for you guys, just the owners that are on. Who's your hardest play next week for each team? Who is the guy that you want to play but you're just not sure about? And if you need a second to look, I'll answer first.
Yeah, go ahead, Evan.
Mine would be Deebo Samuel next week. He has not looked great coming back early. He plays the Rams next week, which is the number 2 team against the pass right now. A lot of that probably has to do with the defensive lineman, Aaron Donald, not giving quarterbacks time to throw. But Deebo Samuel is one for me, and I didn't think I'd say that because I've been begging for him to get back from injury. But Adams will be back playing next week. A.J. Brown looks okay so far to not have some flex opportunity with those other running backs. So is it crazy not to play Deebo Samuel?
Yeah, that foot worries me still because it seems like he came back early, And then you saw what they did against Miami last week. That could have been the whole West coming East kind of thing. But, that's a little scary thinking about putting Deebo in there right now. If I'd probably be looking for better options. I'd put him in if I didn't feel like I had any better,
Well,
go ahead, Sean.
For me next week, it's killing me with the bye weeks on my running backs. They were my set 'em and forget 'em. I'm probably going to have to flex 2 tight ends this week, so that'll be exciting. Let's hope Hooper gets more than 2 throws at him.
Yeah, he had 10 targets last week in a decent game. You saw him play, didn't you, Mike?
Yeah, I did. I had to watch that game.
How do you look watching it live?
Well,
Against Indy. Go ahead.
I mean, I think Hooper was on the field for, they said, like 58 snaps or something like that. So, I mean, the volume or the snap count is there for you at least. If you have to flex in a tight end, I mean, you can do worse than 58 snaps.
Yeah. For me, I got Sanders going up against Miles Sanders going up against Baltimore, which I cringed playing him against Pittsburgh, and he came through with a long touchdown and one short touchdown. I don't think I'd be betting a lot on him doing it again against Baltimore. So that's but what choice do I have? I got to put Sanders in there, but it's definitely looking at that a little bit iffy there.
Gibson had a big game against Baltimore, and obviously we were in a position where we had to play him. But I'm not too – I see the numbers on it, but they've also in the last few weeks have given up some big numbers.
Yeah. I mean, it can be done, but that's definitely a good defense 2 weeks in a row that Sanders is going up against. How about you, Mike?
I'm thinking mine's going to be Melvin Gordon. I've got to put him in, but they're going against New England, and Philip Lindsay's back this week. So I could make the wrong choice and put in Philip Lindsay, I guess. But yeah, I'm not too excited about putting Melvin Gordon back in there.
Yeah, I get that.
I think with what you put in to get Melvin Gordon, you gotta play Melvin Gordon.
Oh yeah, he was my RB2 at one point in time.
If Lindsey beats you, that is fantasy football in a nutshell. But you got to play the top guy. I think that's the best call.
Yeah.
If it's either the starting running back or the backup to said starting running back, you should probably start the starting running back.
We got time for any more matchups, or?
I think that's all we got this week. Thanks for Evan coming out to the NAO show, being our first number one host with me, and being our first guest, of course. Thanks for Mark and Mike Deasy coming out. We'll see you next week, where we find out that I won again. Bye! Oh, yeah. Wait 1 second. I'm missing something.
That's right. I was going to remind you.